What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about 4 things that a lot of school shooters have in common. Like and subscribe for more future videos. Thank you. Alright, starting with number 1. Early childhood trauma and exposure to violence. In their research, Peterson and Dinsley found that most of the school shooters they studied experienced early childhood trauma and or exposure to violence. This included everything from parental suicide to physical or sexual abuse, neglect, domestic violence, and their severe bullying. The trauma was often a precursor to mental health concerns, including depression, anxiety, thought disorders, or suicidality. They wrote in an op-ed in the Los Angeles Times. One of the aims of the research was to help determine not only the common characteristics of school shooters, but also what can be done to help stop them before they take action. For example, Peterson and Dinsley note that school-based mental health services such as counselors and social workers may help mitigate childhood trauma. In addition, schools can implement a curriculum including positive coping skills, resilience, and social emotional learning, especially to young boys. According to their data, 98% of mass shooters are men. Another strategy is to be more proactive when it comes to acknowledging childhood trauma. Those early exposures to violence need addressing when they happen, with ready access to social services and high-quality, affordable mental health treatment in the community. Peterson and Dinsley wrote, looking for number 2. Anger over a recent event resulting in feelings of suicidality. Nearly every mass shooter Peterson and Dinsley studied had a specific identifiable point of crisis in the weeks and/or months before the shooting, which resulted in them becoming angry and despondent. According to the authors, relationship, rejection, or loss often played a role in the shooter's life prior to the attack, but they also found that in 80% of the cases, school shooters communicated to other people that they were in a crisis, whether it was a form of significant change in behavior, expressing suicidal thoughts, or plans, or discussing specific threats of violence. For this reason, all adults in schools, from the principal to the custodian, need high-quality training in crisis intervention and suicide prevention, and the time and space to connect with the student. Peterson and Dinsley wrote, at the same time, schools need formal systems in place for students and staff to anonymously report a student in crisis. Number 3, being inspired by other school shooters. Another commonality among school shooters is that they have studied and may admire other school shooters. Today, with the 24-hour news cycle, the internet, and social media, it has never been easier for potential school shooters to conduct their own research into not only how to carry out a shooting, but also the specific script to follow to ensure notoriety after the event, even if they end up dying in the process. In other words, school shootings are socially contagious, and in some cases, media coverage of an incident can provide a blueprint of potential future shooters. What can parents, teachers, and school administrators do to help spot the next possible school shooter? Instead of threat assessment, teams focused on risk factors. Peterson and Densley explained that schools need care teams dynamic enough to see opportunities to connect students with needed resources and safeguard them in a wraparound process. Moreover, because school shooters seek validation, and authors of the study suggest that schools teach media literacy to help students understand the foundations of school violence, as well as the extremist propaganda that may prompt it. Finally, Peterson and Densley note that a change in school culture is also required. Lockdown and active shooter drills send a message that violence is normal when it's not, they wrote. Number 4, having the means to carry out an attack. In order to carry out a school shooting, students need access to firearms and ammunition. According to Peterson and Tinsley's data, 80% of school shooters obtain weapons from members of their own family, typically parents and grandparents. Once someone decides life is no longer worth living, and that murdering others would be a proper revenge, only means an opportunity stand in the way of another mass shooting. According to the authors, one thing schools can do to help this aspect of school violence is to educate parents and other caregivers about ensuring that all firearms are kept locked up and far away from children. In addition, Peterson and Densley recommend that schools make their property less accessible through visible security measures like metal detectors and police officers. Many mass shooters have also obtained their weapons through legal avenues, according to a survey by the National Institute of Justice, as reported by the New York Times. 77% of mass shooters between 1966 and 2019 have bought their weapons illegally. The bottom line is that by looking at the data from studies like the one Peterson and Densley conducted, we can try to find patterns of behavior to help identify potential school shooters, before they take action. Strategies, victims. So in this section of the video, I'm going to be talking about the two famous Columbine shooters, Eric Harris and Klebold. We're not going to go too deep in this video. I just want to talk about the fun facts really quick. Harris and Klebold have become pop culture icons, with the pair often portrayed evidenced and seen on film, television, video games, music, and books. Many critics, since the shooting, have taken inspiration from and dubbed the Columbine effect, either viewing them as heroes, martyrs, and gods, or expressing sympathy for them. Harris and Klebold also have a fan base who have come to term Columbiners, who write fan fiction and draw fan art of them. Others have also dressed up as them, as a duo